Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode. My name is Osman Abdulrasheed, and I'm really excited to have you all today. And I hope and believe that the past episodes we've been having have been really insightful for you. Today, I want to talk about something that, I feel like will change your business forever, inshallah. Now, think about it. A lot of business owners are stressed when they're running their business. One of the reasons why they can't grow their business is because, one, they're overwhelmed, two, they're stressed, three, the reason why they're stressed is because they're the ones that do everything in the business. I mean, think about it. There's a small chops vendor that I know that is the one that will make the puff puff, fry it, pack it, call the delivery guy. When the delivery guy comes, hands it over to the delivery guy, calls the customer, tell the customer delivery guy is on his way, call the delivery guy to make sure the delivery guy gets there. By the time the delivery guy gets there, the delivery guy can't find the house, calls the lady, tell her where is this house, she calls the customer. By the time you finish, if you do that 3 times in a day, you're tired. That is not how you run your business. You see, the big organizations understand that to build a truly remarkable business, you must build your business with the intention to sell it, even if you don't want to sell it. It's a concept that came up by one amazing author called Michael Gerber. He wrote it in his book, A-Myth Revisited. And he says that the idea of building a business to grow is you want to be able to build a business that is run like a franchise, even if you are not franchising it. And what is a franchise? Think about it. All the people that have the different franchises that you go and eat. Franchise is simply somebody has the brand, has the intellectual property. They've created a specific process, and they will come and give you that process, give you everything, and then you come and deploy it, and then you make money from it. So you must build your business with that kind of mindset for you to be able to grow your business. And let me tell you, there are 4 major things that people buy in a business. And the first one is process. When somebody is going to buy a business, they want to know what is the process of that business. What are the things that happen? Because guess what? We see businesses that do the same thing, sell the same thing, but they are different. If you even look at all the internet service providers and communication companies that we have, what do they provide? They provide call, they provide data, they provide other things. But the way they provide it is different. I remember when MTN and all those other people came out first, they would say they were not doing per second billing. It was just 1 minute. When somebody picks your call, 500 naira has gone. Now, that was their process. But until Glo came in and said, you know what, our process is different. We are going to give you per second billing. And the market flocked and moved towards that direction. And because that process was amazing, what happened? Other people started to adopt that process. So your business, you might be in the same business with somebody, but just because your process is different from that person, you will see that people will migrate towards you. The second thing that people look for when they are buying a business is data. And what is data? Data simply means what the kind of database that you have. So it's not just about saying, oh, we serve 30 customers every day. The 30 customers that you're serving, do you have their numbers, their email addresses, and all those things? Because that's what true investors, when an investor is going to buy a business, they will look at it. Is this business dependent on you? Because if the business is dependent on you, if you sell the business and you go, the business will die. But an investor doesn't want that. An investor wants to be able to say, okay, because you have a particular database, all the people that have been buying from you will continue buying because they already have that database sorted. The third thing that people buy is technical capacity. How good are your staff at doing what they do, right? That will determine whether an investor will come and buy and invest in your business. And the fourth thing is brand equity. And what is brand equity? Brand equity is just the name that you have created for yourself. If you think about it, when you think about brands like, say, maybe like Nike, everybody knows what Nike is. Everybody knows the shoes and everything. So if somebody's going to sell that, they're selling the brand. If you think about things like Apple phones, iPhones, and all that, guess what? Did you know that Samsung is the company that actually produces a lot of the hardware for Apple? But still, you see that an Apple phone is selling more than a Samsung phone. Why? Because of brand equity, right? So those are the 4 things that really, if you're trying to build a business to sell, those are the things that you look at. So let's talk about the number 1 thing. The number 1 thing is processes. There are 6 key processes that you must have in your business. The first process. And for you, and what is a process? A process is simply how things are done. It's simple how things are done. And you don't need a big consulting company to come and help you set up your process. Simply, what do? You ask yourself, I'm going to share the 6 processes for you, but every day just ask yourself, how am I doing this thing? List out all the steps it takes for you to take that particular action with who needs to do that action. Once you list it out, the next thing that you want to do is to now bring it out on a document and then really explain in details. You want to explain it in a way that even a primary school student can read it. Why is that important? Because you don't want your business to be run based on the feelings and whims of your staff. You want to have a particular process that you do things. I mean, there's certain restaurants that when you enter, there's a certain phrase that they will say, and then everybody starts moving. It's the same thing. If you enter an airline, airlines, what do? There's a process. When you come in, they tell you to sit down, they'll show you the safety procedure, the captain would, it's like that. They never deviate from it. So what are the 6 key processes that you need in your business? The first process is your sales process. Because look, no business grows without sales. Sales is the lifeblood of any business. I don't care what you're selling, right? If you can't make adequate sales to generate revenue, then you're running a hobby and not a business. So what is the sales process? How do you move? If somebody comes and they want to buy from you, what is the process? I remember a couple of years ago, I was running a pharmacy. So my wife is a pharmacist, and I had a pharmacy that we used to run together. And one of the processes that we always have, and if I tell you this secret, you see, if you enter a pharmacy next time, you see that they use it. One of our processes was, if anybody comes to buy anything, we make sure that that's not the only thing they buy. So when you come in and you tell me you want to buy cough medicine, automatically I know you have a cough. What's the next thing? I'm like, oh, but do you know that cough is caused by lack of vitamin C? Maybe your immune system is low. Would you like to buy vitamin C with that? You buy vitamin C. Next time I'm like, do you have sore throat? Oh yes, I have sore throat. Then I sell you Strepsils. You see, it's a process. It's called upselling. The same thing when you go to other brands like maybe like Domino's and Cold Stone. If you go to buy ice cream in Cold Stone, what do? They will ask you, do you want waffles? You, in your mind, you think that the waffles is free. It comes with the package. It's a lie. As soon as you go in there, they ask you, do you want waffles? You say yes. That's like an extra 500 or 1,000 that they sold. That's a sales process. So you must identify what are the steps that you need to take in selling. And it's actually very easy, right? All you have to do, there's something in the sales process, there's something called AIDA. And it's AIDA. AIDA, A stands for attention. At every point in time, you want to grab attention of your prospective customers, which is why if you look at it, brands use very bright colors, right? And guess what? If you have a physical store, your most expensive and items and the items you want to move fast, always put it on the right. Do you know why? If you think about it, most times when people enter a place, they always look right first. It's just a simple rule, like our brain just works that way. So if you put all those things on the right, and you want to put it as people are entering, not as people are leaving, right? And that's why you see that a lot of shops and all those things, what do? They put sweets and all that in front of you so that you finish buying what you want to buy. Then you come there, then you remember you don't have battery, you don't have shaving stick, you don't have this, you don't have that, then you will buy extra. So that's the sales process. The second process that you want to write down is your marketing process. What is your marketing process? Your marketing process is simply how do you get your message out into the world. Understand that sales is different from marketing, and a lot of people don't know this, and I'll tell you what's the difference. Marketing is about making noise about your brand, telling people about your brand, telling why people should come and buy from you. Sales is the process of actually taking them through that process till they end up buying from you. So marketing, what is your process for marketing? Do you want to be posting on Instagram two times a week? Do you want to get a big billboard? If you look at all these real estate companies, they all have billboards. That's marketing. They are increasing the awareness of the brand. So that's one of the things that you want to do. So write down your marketing process, and make sure that you stick to it, whatever the case. If you say you're going to post twice on Instagram, make sure you're posting twice a day on Instagram. If you say you're going to send out a newsletter, make sure you're sending out a newsletter regardless, no matter what happens. Now, the next thing that you want to talk about The next process that is important is your operations process. What is your operations process? Your operations process is simply how do you create the product or service that you're selling? Because guess what? Let's say, for example, you sell food. You don't want your food to taste sweet today, tomorrow it doesn't taste sweet. And why would that happen? That will happen is if people just use their discretion to cook. But you must have that process written down and say, okay, the rice must be parboiled with how many cups of water, at what temperature, for how long. You must write down every single thing. One of the companies that has really done this fantastically well is Toyota. They've even created a system called the Toyota Way. There's actually a book about that. And Toyota Way simply says that there are certain things that they look out for. There are certain keywords that is important to them. And I'll just briefly touch on two. One is Kaizen. It's a Japanese word. Kaizen simply means continuous improvement. And so it means that their process says that they must keep improving on the quality and all the things that they're doing. And then the second one is Muda. Muda means waste. So as they are improving, they must be reducing waste. So you too, think about it. What is the operations process that you have in your business? The fourth process is your accounting process. How do you collect money from your customers? How do you document it? How do you raise invoices? How do you pay your suppliers? Because you see, one of the biggest issues that business owners have is this. They're not able to document that process. And as a result, today they will send invoice. Tomorrow they will not send invoice. Another day they will send receipt. Another day the staff doesn't feel like sending receipt, and then they won't send receipt. So one of the things that you want to do is to make sure that your accounting process is well documented, so that everybody knows that when a customer comes in, this is the process that we take to collect money from them. When a supplier comes in, this is the process we take to give money to them. The fifth process that it's important for you is to have your HR process written down. What's your HR process? Your HR process just simply means your human resource process. And this is how do you train people? How do you hire people? How do you fire people? What is the procedure? A lot of one-man businesses, they just wake up one day and then maybe the staff just doesn't greet you. You're like, my friend, you can't greet me? Sack. You sack the person. That's why you can't grow. Because first of all, your staff see that there's no even future in your company. What are the things that you do to incentivize your staff? If you don't have an actual process. So one staff is going on leave. You say, my friend, you're going on leave. Take this 20,000. Another person is going on leave. Maybe that time you don't have money. You don't give him. That one that is going on leave the second time will now be upset that this person, it now seems like you're doing favoritism. But if you have a process that says, if somebody is going on leave, this is the amount of money they get. These are the things that needs to happen, at different points in time, right? So you must have a HR process. And the last process that you should have is your customer retention process. How do you aim to retain your customers? What are the things that you want to do? So think about it. Say somebody has bought from you 10 times in a year. You don't even send them thank you messages. I remember there was a message I saw the other day that says schools are not sending thank you to parents. They just feel like, oh yeah, it's your child education now. But no, but realizing that those parents are customers. And so they are not being served well, right? So a school, imagine a school that after every time a parent pays school fees, they say thank you to the school. They pray, they say thank you to the parent. They pray for the parent. That parent will be happy to be paying school fees, even if the child is coming last in class, because the school is making the parent happy, right? So these are the 6 processes that I think that you need to document in your business. Ideally, what you want to put all of them in one particular document. Any new staff that you get, you want to train them on that document. Your weekly meetings that you're going to be having with your staff, you want to be sharing tidbits about this document with them. And I hope with this, you will start to build a business that even if you're not going to sell, is big enough for you to be able to step back and for the business to run without you. Think about it. I've seen people that will travel and go for Umrah and they can't even really do Ibadah properly because they're calling them and disturbing them from their business. You don't want to have that. So take the time to install processes properly in your business, and I'm sure that you will start to see the amazing returns. So thank you very much for joining us on today's episode. I really look forward to seeing you on the next one. My name is Osman Abdulrasheed. Assalamu alaikum.
Ramadan Mubarak.